right, we are almost there. We are at the top 4 now. Only one more until the finals and then the interview with the winner of the tournament. For now, we got ourselves a matchup between RiceFT and Wolf. Again, reminder, this is the top 4 of the Maverick Tournament League, the grand prize. Forever takes this home. First place is going to be $50. Thank you, as always, to G'day Maverick for sponsoring this tournament. None of this would be possible without him or, obviously, Haunts by my side casting. So stick around. You guys are in for a hell of a match. All right, everybody, we are back. We're going to get right into the game here. Looks like they are about to get going.
Yep, we got Wolf and RiceFT. We saw Rice a little bit earlier, but Wolf, not a person we get to see too often. He has that NYIT tag, so he's one of those boys out here in New York with me. So I got a little bit of New York pride. Got to cheer on my Wolf a little bit here on my side.
So you're a little biased. So you're rooting for Wolf.
Well, a little bit. You know, I know a couple of guys who run the NYIT like esports club and such. So gotcha. I'm assuming he's wearing that tag because of it. But it looks like we're hopping right into game here. Rice, they're both pulling out the deep decks to start.
Yeah, so 2 deep decks. This is actually the first time we've seen a deep mirror deck today, surprisingly enough. Or sorry, mirror matchup, where, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks or so ago, there's like a million deep decks everywhere. We're constantly seeing mirror matches, and we get our first one, at least that I've seen of this tournament so far.
Yeah. I am not a big fan of Rice tossing out that Maokai. I think in this matchup overall, 2 main things stick out to me is number 1, getting champions. Him re-picking up that Maokai is very, very important to me. And number 2, who hits deep first, right? And looking at Rice's hand, it's not looking that great for him. Like, he needs these jettisons, he needs these salvages in order for him to get deeper in his deck. And God, every time I say a card, he's just gonna draw it. He's proving me wrong here.
See, that's why he mulliganed Maokai because he just knew he was gonna draw it. He's just like, nah, guys, I know my deck. I know what's gonna come up next. It's fine.
Yeah, he didn't need the sap magic. He knew he was like, oh yeah, like sap magic is too bad of a card. I'm just gonna draw the second Maokai. NBD, you know.
I'm pulling up both deck lists right now because I want to see kind of what some of the inherent differences are in both these deep decks, because there's specific cards usually that you see when they're teching against specifically the mirror match, which I don't imagine too many deep decks nowadays are actually teching against the mirror match because they've kind of gone down in popularity a little bit.
I will say, the main thing that sticks out to me overall is that I believe Wolf, he's playing a Terror of the Tides.
Yes.
And that's usually, and instead of playing 3 Maokai, 3 Nautilus, he's taking out 1 Maokai to play a Thresh. And in both of those cases, I think that's going to be very, very important for him to kind of seal these games out, especially since most of these sea monsters, for the Terror of the Tides effect, right, they all kind of have the same attack as they do health, right? It's like a 6/6, a 7/7, whatever number it may be. And that Terror of the Tides doing the minus attacks plus the fearsomes on top of that can be very, very strong.
Yeah, and I think that with that said, and you make a good point, he's got the Thresh in there to get, hopefully the good Nautilus. And I've said this so many times, the early Nautilus. I've said this so many times of, like, Thresh is great, but then when you get something like a Maokai instead of a Nautilus, like, Maokai still feels okay, but you would have rather, let's be honest, you would have rather had the Nautilus. So hopefully he's able to play aggressively here. Wolf, and be able to get down an early Nautilus, be able to get down this Terror of the Tides that you're talking about before Rice can, kind of get his game plan together late game.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm really surprised that Rice isn't playing some of these cards in his hand. Like, I would much rather seen Maokai drop on turn 4. He needs to get these tosses early on, and Wolf is so much deeper in his deck right now, comparatively, right? Like, unless Rice is magically going to draw like 3 jettisons in a row here, it's going to be hard for him to catch up.
Yeah, and that's bad news for him, because Thou who goes deep first will probably win the game. Just like probabilistically speaking, if that's a word, we're gonna go. It's probably like 80% chance he's gonna win if he goes deep first, especially if it's like a couple turns before him. So we'll see how quickly he can catch up in deep.
Yeah, and Wolf gonna assume that, you know, just gonna pull this Maokai out, trying to get this chip damage in on him earlier, just so, you know, if you can kill this Maokai off early, it's really good for you. But he does have that second Maokai in hand that we can see. So, oh my God, that's like his second Dredgers on top of a Jettison and a Salvage. Like, I wish I could curse over this deck right now. He's gotten tossed so many more cards compared to Rice.
Yeah, he's getting the dream. Like, this is what you want. I mean, turn 6 deep is like the dream. I think the earliest technically you can get it is turn 5 maybe. But turn 6 is just feels so freaking good. The only thing that I think would make it feel even better and probably seal the deal is a turn 7 Nautilus, and we'll see if that happens next turn.
Yeah, and man, I wish I could see how many cards are left in RiceFT's deck, but another big pickup for him is the second Obliterate effect into his hand, the Devourer of the Depths with that Jaw Hunters. That's really important in this matchup, especially if you can get it off before your opponent gets into deep. But like, if he's deep this turn, what are you gonna do? Like, how are you planning to get these Devour of the Depths effects off, right? Like, maybe, yeah, you can hit it on that Maokai potentially, right? But is he gonna let you? I don't think he is.
I don't think he's gonna let you, to be honest with you. So it's definitely interesting. His hand is very clunky right now too, RiceFT. I mean, he's got the Ruination and the Atrocity and the 2 Devourers. So I don't know. It's gonna be and we actually get the return already 7/7 Devourer. On the he values the Maokai that much right now. That's insane.
Yeah, I definitely think that's definitely the play.
Yeah.
Hey man, if I can obliterate my opponent's deck before he even touches the Nautilus, then my God, did he just get a Terror of the Tides off of a Jaw Hunters?
Yeah, and it's gonna feel super like Wolf just obliterated 1 Jaw Hunters, and insult to injury, not only do you have the second Jaw Hunters, you have another a first Terror of the Tides to match your opponents for later on in the game.
I think those are the best 2 cards you could have generated off Jaw Hunters.
Oh,
I'm not
easy,
gonna lie.
easy.
Like maybe like an Abyssal Eye is like the next one where you can draw and do elusive shenanigans, but like this is honestly this may look a little tough for Wolf if he's able to hit. If Rice is able to hit deep in these next couple turns. Man, I really wish I could tell how many cards are left in that deck.
Cough, spectator mode. Cough.
Yeah.
we're gonna kick that dead horse or beat that dead horse until they eventually do it.
Yeah. We'll get it eventually. They said in 2020.
Soon, TM.
Hey, if they can make it so I can spectate both hands easily, I'll take it. I'm not complaining. As long as that's why spectator mode is taking a long time to release, so I can friend both players and watch both ends of the game.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Dude, hook me up.
Yeah, sign me up for that. So we're seeing
and Thresh too.
Thresh, but no Nautilus. So Thresh is going to be a little bit slower than just having the turn 7 Nautilus here. But yeah, I mean, you nailed it, man. He's having the dream curve right now. He's got the Devourer. He's got the Thresh. It's going to be really hard for RiceFT to really get back in the game, like field presence wise, right?
Do you consider Ruination on this board state because of it?
I mean, that feels really bad. You really got to save Ruination for those key points later on in the game where you're getting a lot more value on Wolf's larger units, especially because he is playing Terror of the Tides, or at least a Nautilus. Like, I don't think you can Ruination without hitting at least a Nautilus, right?
Yeah. And one turn later on the deep, it's not too bad. He does have that level up, but he's able to hook in this Maokai with the Thresh. That's going to be so important in my opinion.
Yeah, that is big. I don't really think there's going to be a way for him to save. I mean, he could. All right. Well, we have we have the situation we were talking about earlier where the Sap Magic is now in hand. So, do we play the Sap? Are we that desperate where we need this Sap Magic to go off and level this Maokai?
You play it as the second Maokai, right? Like you don't really need it to heal.
Yep.
Obviously it does help progress the first Maokai on a little bit, but heck, it ain't even it plays both, right? It heals the other Maokai plus by playing a fresh one. and you're able to do a lot more. I'm more so surprised that Wolf doesn't attack with the 7/7. Yes, of course, his opponent could potentially get some lifesteal here, right? But you want more stuff to die on board just so Thresh can level up a little quicker, in my opinion.
Now, I think maybe is a consideration that you don't want to kill the Thorny Toad. All right, no, it doesn't even matter because Rice is already deep now, so it's not like. Yeah, I'm surprised too. I'm surprised he didn't decide to kind of attack with everything there.
The biggest thing I want to note there is that Wolf actually tossed his only copy of Grasping and Dying.
Yep.
Just now, so.
And that's something that we're not seeing. He's playing a one of Grasping the Undying and Withering Wail, and that's definitely and a one of Vengeance. So kind of a different spell lineup than what we're used to seeing. I mean, usually Grasp and Withering are just tossed completely from this deep lineup lately, and there's like a 2 of or maybe even a 3 of Vengeance. And it's so funny because Rice playing like the exact opposite, right? I mean, he's playing the Ruinations instead, and has none of that other removal. So this is going to be a good determination of kind of which way is maybe the better way to play deep, right? Especially in the mirror match.
It's tough overall to think about this game, especially since like both players are kind of vying for the same objective, right? I think even also there's like you have to consider the fact that like, hey, if my opponent's Maokai does end up leveling up, I actually have to save the Nautilus for after the Maokai level ups, just so I can get those sea monsters back in my deck, right?
Yeah, and I'm curious. Getting the all right. So wait, Maokai does toss champions, right? I always confuse that.
Maokai ends up destroying champions. Yes.
Maokai does destroy. Okay, so I'm always. There's so many like plunder card or not plunder cards, yoink cards and stuff like that. I keep forgetting which ones like do get champions and don't. So yeah, I think getting an early Maokai off is gonna be kind of crucial for Rice here. If he is, that might get him back in the game. I think if he is able to do that, kind of depends if. I mean, Wolf could have already drawn his Nautilus too, but the way that he's playing, especially with the Thresh on board, I want to say that he doesn't have one yet. It looks like we got a lot of Team Wolf in chat, by the way, too. It's just we got a lot of people rooting for Wolf right now, so they're on your side too.
Man, I'm down for Team Wolf. Wolf Pack, as they say sometimes.
There we go, Wolf Pack, Team Wolf Pack. There we go.
Yeah. But this is an interesting situation for me. I know that he doesn't want to proc the Toad, but regardless, he just wants more things to die here. He just wants this Thresh to level up as soon as possible. 2 things do die off, so it puts him at I think it was it's out of 5, right? It was sitting at, oh my god, that Nautilus draw.
Yep, that is a damn good draw.
That changes the situation in this game almost completely, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially and now again even more so if this Maokai does level. I think Rice is going to be in a very good spot. It's so hard, honestly, in mirror matches with deep. I don't know about you, but like especially as a caster trying to cast these mirror deep matches, it's like it's so swingy. I mean, one card draw can completely change. Okay, well, right now Rice is really far behind, and then all of a sudden he draws Nautilus, and oh, never mind. Right now Wolf is really far behind. So it's like it's just these really big swing turns. It feels. It's so hard to really say definitively unless somebody's super far behind. All right, Wolf's in the lead, or all right, Rice is in the lead.
Yeah, but no, I think Wolf made a fantastic play here, pulling off the one unit that could block the Fearsome, sets his opponent at 2 health, which means this is an atrocity game over situation that we're entering here, and this could be it. All right, do you have to play Ruination now?
Well,
because of it.
What? Just assuming or just hoping your opponent doesn't draw an atrocity? I mean, I feel like you have to assume like he has it in his hand, though.
Yeah. So if you assume he has it in his hand, you have, like, you can't play Ruination against. In both situations, yeah, I guess it's bad no matter what, right?
I don't think you can play around that. I think like you just have to play out what your win condition is gonna be, which is probably playing the Nautilus at this point.
For sure.
And just kind of hope that, okay, your opponent does not have an atrocity or anything that's going to do 2 damage, because there's no way that you're going to be able to stop anything like that right now.
I'd actually like to counter that point then. I would like to see him play both of his Abyssal Eyes out. because then
okay, yes,
that's
actually,
just lethal next turn.
yes, I agree with that. So I take it back. He should not be playing this Nautilus right now. Yeah,
I mean, in this case, he can technically still play both Abyssal Eyes, right? The four cost less still allows him to play both of them this turn.
That's right.
But that's just 100% something that he should do. Wolf dropping the cheers emote. That's looking like an atrocity to me. Yep, that's game.
Boy. Oh, this card atrocity. Oh, how we have seen it win and lose so many games over the course of this tournament. It's like probably the number. Actually, I wonder what the play rate is on atrocity right now. I'm curious to look that up.
That's wild to me. That's one of 2 copies of atrocity. So congratulations, Wolf, for taking game number 1 in this situation versus Rice. Means that Rice still has to play out this deep deck, which is a little concerning to me, to be honest. Right? I think against these other 2 decks, if they're able to play out fast enough, they could be able to take out this deep deck. Especially against obviously against Asher Juani, it is a little tougher, right? Especially since Reckonings do kind of come offline after a certain amount of times. So I would assume, though, looking at this lineup, that that Rice banned out this Heimerdinger Vi deck in comparison, and I actually would like to see him not play this deep deck, whatever his other deck may be, to go into this Asher Juani deck to start, just to see, obviously against the Asher Juani, I think the deep deck is better. Like I said, with the Reckonings and everything, but harsh winds can come bite you in the butt really hard.
Yeah, I got to agree though. I mean, I don't think he has a choice. I mean, as much as I'd like to see a non-deep deck play right now, I don't. I think deep is the better matchup. I think he has to do this to take the win with his deep deck. And then what does that leave? That's going to leave Ash Sejuani versus what was left unbanned for Rice. Was it
I'm not sure.
Karma or Swain Sedge?
I would assume as Karma gets banned.
Yeah,
most of the time. So
yeah, nobody likes as Karma. So all right, so then that's gonna leave Swain Sejuani versus Ash Sejuani. That would be a very interesting matchup to see. So I do kind of hope that we go to a game 3 here, because Ash, I really don't think I've seen that matchup too often, because we don't see a whole lot of Swain Sejuani played competitively regardless. Yeah, I don't know who would have the advantage of that matchup, but for now we have Deep versus Ash Sejuani, and I very much think Deep is favored. So we'll see if Rice can get off to a good start here to bring it back to even at 1-1.
Yeah, I think Wolf AFK'd for a second, maybe just to grab like a drink or something. But I'm definitely excited to see what comes out of this situation. Is there a world where they don't ban? They ban the Ash Sejuani instead of the Heimerdinger Vi? I don't think there is, right?
No, I think that Heimer. Oh wait, no. Is it Heimer Vi or Esvi? It's
for Wolf. It's Heimer Vi.
Oh, sorry, for Wolf it's Heimer Vi. Okay, I feel like Heimer Vi always gets banned. I feel like anything Heimer and anything Ezreal, it just gets insta banned, like no matter what the rest of your lineup is. It's just like a foregone conclusion. So I'd be very surprised to see a Heimer deck right now. But hey, you never know. If it is Heimer, that would be definitely a very interesting matchup. One that I haven't seen in a while either. It's interesting that Deep had so much popularity. Everybody was playing Deep, and we still see Deep. It's still a competitive deck, but again, very little Deep until this point in the tournament have we actually seen. So, which I'm kind of excited about. I had the same view on Deep decks as I did about Bannerman originally. Like, man, everybody just plays the same shit. But it looks like it's kind of evened out since then. Now everybody just plays Dehu Endure instead.
A lot of atrocity decks coming out today. A lot of atrocity decks, regardless of it being Dehu Endure or Deep, for sure. And now we're looking at the predicted matchup, like we said, Deep versus Ash Sejuani. It's just a tough one because, like we mentioned before, Reckoning is just such a dead card in this matchup. But if he can get this early game snowball going on, that's where this deck flourishes, right? You want to get the Omen Hawk into the Avarosan Sentry into all these other cards, right? But not a great start so far. This Trifarian Glory Seeker is absolutely fantastic, though. Unfortunately, this Thorny Toad is a great answer.
Yeah, it really is. So he's gonna. I'm trying to think of what he's gonna need right now. He's not playing. I forget the name of that card, but the quick attack girl, where if it's support, the quick attack, that would be great.
Legion Drummer.
Yes, Legion Drummer. That would be great right now. Obviously, he does not have that, so he's probably looking for some Frostbite to really enable that Glory Seeker. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to Frostbite a Thorny Toad and attack. So definitely probably the perfect answer that RiceFT could possibly ask for.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to start looking for some bigger threats here.
Oh God.
Second Glory Seeker is not what you want to see for sure, but it does put in a lot of damage over the course of the next couple of turns, right? Even if he does end up, killing off the Thorny Toad, but RiceFT did top deck a perfect answer in this Vile Feast.
I think honestly, the way that Rice is drawing right now, and yeah, he's recognizing he doesn't even need to play the Vile Feast yet. He can go. Wow, oh man, that's terrible. That's terrible for Wolf. So
for sure, this is. There's a matchup percent here somewhere that started a little more in the
oh yeah
vein of Rice, and it's looking more and more and more.
Yeah.
This Ash coming out, that is a win condition, honestly. I think that the Ash getting leveled up early is really, really important.
Yeah, if he can somehow try to get a bigger field here, like, maybe some Aversion Hearthguards and stuff in the next couple of turns and level this Ash quickly, then like you said, yeah, that's 100% a win condition. He can get that Crystal Arrow. He can get a large attack turn off before Rice really has a chance to kind of stabilize and respond to it. These two Vile Feasts, though, you're going to make that really, really hard right now. I mean, even if he does get a good curve, Hearthguard next, maybe even a Trifarian Assessor at some point. Ooh, okay. So that's actually good to save one of those Glory Seekers, I think, now that he has the Ash being able to Frostbite something. So I do think that will help greatly. So I think that alone right there, that was it Elixir of Iron he just played, right? Yeah. He's playing 2
Elixir of Iron, yeah.
He's playing 2 of in the deck. I think that's going to be a really strong play for Wolf headed into these next couple of turns if he's able to get some beefier units down.
For sure. Wish he looked at the Oracle's Eye, though, and saw what was getting frozen. Just so he pulls like a 1/1 onto the Glory Seeker, just to, that extra health from the Elixir of Iron doesn't stay permanently, so you may as well get that little bit of extra damage. Plus, he probably would have blocked with the Thorny Toad anyway, just to get that like last breath effect off. But now we're sitting here, Wolf, I think feeling better at the very least, right? Like I said, this Ash is definitely a win condition for him, and getting an Avarosan Trapper, that's also a really good card for him, as long as his opponent isn't getting too deep yet. You can trap her into a 5/5 Yeti and get some pretty good tempo on the board, but 2 Jettison in RiceFT's hand, he's going to hit deep pretty soon.
Yeah, and I do think the Trapper, even if he had a Hearthguard in hand, I do think the Trapper is a pretty good play here because he will be able to maintain that 3 spell mana. And with how much, Frostbite and Battle Tricks that Wolf's going to have in his deck, he's going to be going into a pretty strong attack turn, I feel, next turn. And, all right, definitely a strong attack turn next turn. Also preventing that elusive attack. So, very big swing in the last couple of turns here for Wolf.
Yeah, have to agree with you here. Is he pulling the 1? Okay, yeah, that 3/3 pull I definitely agree with. Is there a world where you atrocity off this 3/3 to kill this Ash?
Ooh. Oh, well, no, you can't because it's frostbitten.
Oh, true.
Yep. So, yeah. there was a world until he attacked.
Yeah. I guess with this missed call, though, you get to pull this 3/3 back at the end of the day, and that's really strong for you.
Yeah,
as long as you don't block with a 1/1.
So yeah, and that's a crucial decision, and I think that's what he's thinking about right here. But if he does that, he takes a lot of damage. That's 11 damage. I don't know if he can really afford to take that much damage right now. And wow, so Wolf's actually opting to Frostbite the Spider. Probably wants to stay outside of the Vile Feast or something. But 2 Vile Feasts were played, so I don't know. I don't know what else you're really worried about there to save your Ash and Frostbite that Spider.
Yeah. Just being at that 1 health is just very risky for the Ash overall. It
just
seems
scary.
A little, yeah, for sure. Puts it in more of the range of like if he wants to put a Devourer of the Depths on the board right now, he can't put a couple damage onto it somehow.
Okay,
Yep.
so yeah, so there's the Devourer. So if he was playing around a Devourer, that means he might have another Elixir of Iron in hand, and maybe that's what he's playing
Yeah.
around. I'd like to see that right now if that's the case, because that will be huge for Wolf.
I think for the amount of spell mana that he floated last turn,
Oh,
he
yeah.
could even have the Fury of the North also in his hand. But
Wow.
this is perfect.
Yeah.
The double jettison's going to be able to counter that very, very well. Put him in the deep
Yeah.
zone. So,
Wow, that feels bad. All right, let's
which
see.
does that go deep? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and let's see if he has the Fury of the North, like you were saying. That might be game if he has Fury of the North. Because that's going to be a very big attack turn next turn, and Rice is only on 2 mana. Nope. All right.
Ooh, he does not.
So Rice is back in the game. The nice 6/6 Yeti too. Even getting buffed by the Omen Hawk. God, does that feel good.
Yeah. I would block off of the 3-1 here just so you can open. Ooh. I want to see the 3-1 block instead, mostly so you can open attack with the Glory Seeker and kill off this 7/6 next turn.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean,
But
maybe
this is more damage.
yeah, and he might be wanting to just because if he open attacks, he assumes okay, maybe he'll block the 6/6 with the 7/6. Oh no, okay, yeah, he's just doing more damage outright. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, he's gonna be at 2 health, and that's wait. Ooh, oh,
Ooh. Harsh wins there also. Keeps his
this
Glory
is
Seeker alive.
this is risky for Wolf too. I mean, he's harsh winsing on just one unit there, just to really push the damage and keep his field presence. And like, if he doesn't win in the next turn or two, I don't think there's a. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Trifarian Assessor is a card, and he could literally get that any turn. But killing the 6/6 makes Trifarian Assessor way less impactful right now. So yeah, if Wolf doesn't win soon, those are some big risks that he just took.
Yeah, I think he's recognizing that the Glory Seeker is kind of necessary in order for him to control the board in these upcoming turns, right? Like he needs to be able to hook off the both of Ruination gone. Oh my god, what a toss!
Wow. So Wolf's gonna feel pretty good about playing basically anything now.
Yeah, and in this situation, I think Rice just wants to go as wide as humanly possible, basically, right? The wider he goes compared to his opponent, that means he can eke in any hit. Basically, any hit wins him the game here. But with this lifesteal, it means that not any hit wins him the game, which is pretty rough.
Wow. So we got 7. Ooh, this is gonna be really close heading into these last couple of turns. This 3 lifesteal is gonna do some work unless Wolf has a Frostbite, and he does. Wow, that's a good trade for sure for Wolf. So I wonder, yeah, so he might actually have enough to get through next turn. I'm trying to see. I mean, he's got the Atrocity to kill something. Oh, he also has a Miscall that he can play this turn. So I think Rice actually might be okay. Especially if he gets a Dead Bloom. If he gets a Dead Bloom, it's gonna feel really bad for Wolf. And he got the Dead Bloom. Oh, that feels bad.
Yeah, but you can hook the Dead Bloom down to the last attack, right?
Yeah.
Do you just open attack here then?
Oh,
I feel like you have to.
I think, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of what he could draw that would allow him to not open attack and maybe put him in a better situation. And I don't know, like an Ash. An Ash would be great, you know. But yeah.
Also, technically, this is game right here, right? He could just double Atrocity into the Nexus.
Yeah, yeah. So if he sees that last card, he just wins. If it's not going to kill him. And actually, I don't think Wolf really plays anything that is going to even counter an Atrocity on the 7 attack.
Any of the freezes effects, basically. If he top decks a Harsh Winds, yeah.
All right, so the Harsh Wind, yeah, anything freezing would do it. Really curious as to what that last card is. Phosphorus. I will actually try to grab that for you. Just give me 1 second.
I feel like Wolf just has to go for his open attack. This timer's running out very. Oh,
wow.
I'm Rice. I think I just pass.
Wow. Would it?
Or yeah, just devour it again.
Yeah, that seems so weird. I mean, and he still has enough open for Atrocity, so.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't looking at the timer. He wanted to queue up the attack, but ooh, the Sejuani also.
Okay. So
Sejuani wins him the game, technically, but
oh wait, because of the wait, no,
because
no,
he
no.
doesn't have the mana for double atrocity now.
No, 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 because he can kill. He can do the atrocity on the Sejuani, right?
That is fair.
If he does atrocity on the Sejuani, oh wait, ooh, okay,
Yeah, he has to.
okay, yeah. I'm kind of, well, I guess it makes sense because Wolf probably knows. All right, he probably has an atrocity in hand, so if I do attack, I might as well just attack with the Sejuani, instead of going wide.
Mm-hmm. I think that's just game. You can play any of his sea monsters. He can just take it slow from here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good. I mean, at this point, I was talking earlier about him being able to stabilize. That's exactly what's happened. I mean, it's at the point where even though he's at 2 health, Wolf is just not going to be able to push through this last 2 damage. There's really nothing in his deck at this point that he'll be able to draw to do that.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Wow.
These sea monsters, once you hit deep, man, they just provide so much raw stats on the board.
Whoa.
Like not even the reckoning works here in this situation. I mean, harsh winds doesn't get you out of this. Very little gets you out of this.
Yeah, and I was going to mention this earlier too. I feel like in this specific matchup, the Ashe deck has a very small window in which it needs to win. And I think that's what Wolf was recognizing the entire time, which is why he took those risks to kind of just, all right, I'm going for it. I'm going all in. Let's just do this. Because it's either going to win around that mid-game, point between like turn 6 and 10 or so, or it's not. Because at that point, the deep deck will do its thing and go deep, and it's just going to have way too big a stuff on the field for the Frostbite to really impact anything. I mean, yeah, sure, you Frostbite them, but they're still going to live because they have 8 health. So
yeah, and Ashe is just a little too late there. He can top deck the Crystal Arrow all he wants, but it's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And Rice, he actually literally top decked both of the treasures. So, geez, like wow.
Oh man, so we see the deep deck win, and Rice is gonna go ahead and take it to 1-1. So we're going to game 3, which I'm kind of excited about right now because I'm curious to see what the other ban was. Oh, it's Swain Sedge. All right, so I think we're gonna get Swain's. Yeah, we're getting Swain Sedge versus Ashe Sejuani, and I'm kind of excited for this matchup because I don't see it often, and I love Swain Sedge like in general.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite decks. Sero has played it a lot on ladder and stuff too, and I love talking to Sero about it. It's such a cool deck, so I am very excited for this matchup.
Yeah, it's just 2 very different and distinct Noxious Freljord decks, right? They just have 2 different goals of playing the game, but the main thing for me is that this Reckoning is going to feel a lot more impactful this time around on this side compared to the last side, right? And overall, that's just going to be it can rip into you how strong that and how control heavy this Ashe Sejuani deck can be in this matchup now.
Yeah, and well, that is the thing too about the Sejuani. Wow, there's just so many similar champions. I gotta think before I say the champions here. Sejuani and Swain. Sejuani and Swain can also be extremely controlling. If you get late game a Sejuani with a Leviathan down or a Swain with a Leviathan down, that's just so oppressive. Like, you cannot do anything against that sometimes.
Both sides gonna kind of start it like a mirror match, but although we both know that this matchup is no way near a mirror match. A City Breaker buffed? Wow.
Oh, man, that's going to do work. All right, and real quick, too, I know we've seen a lot of Wolf in the chat. I want to get real quick in the chat. Anybody who's watching, if you are Team Wolf, can we get a hashtag Team Wolf? And if you are Team Rice, hashtag Team Rice. I want to see who we got here in the chat. Any Rice fans out there too, because I want to get Rice some love. All right.
Yeah, he's playing very well, and I think he knew and understood that last matchup very very well, and he played to all of his outs there, and just fantastic gameplay from both of these guys, making it so far into the top 8, right? Like, being here in top 4 out of 100 players, it's incredible feat on its own.
We got we got a lot of interesting hashtags in chat here. We got Team Wolf. I'm gonna assume that's Team Wolf. Team Sedge Swain. You know, I gotta agree with you there, Pride, because I love Sedge Swain. I love me some Sedge Swain. And iPing wants Rice to win because he lost to him and he wants to look better, which I can totally understand that. So
That's fair. And honestly, Wolf getting that buff on this Avarosian Trapper, what a fantastic buff. This is now super well statted for a lot of these upcoming turns, especially with the City Breaker on board. It can deal with it pretty well. And getting a 5/5 Yeti over the course of maybe in the next 2-3 turns is going to be really fantastic for him.
yeah, 100%. And I love the City Breaker coming down. Turn 4. One of the things, I mean, I've played a lot of this deck, and one of the things I'm always up in the air of is whether or not I should actually put a City Breaker in this deck. I do love that he's playing City Breaker. It shows me that he's really going all in on the Swain Sejuani lock kind of later in the game. So I'm curious to see what kind of impact the City Breaker can make here early on.
Yeah, City Breaker, especially with that buff, like, you know, initially, like, as a 0/5 is not all too impactful, but at a 1/6, that means it can actually do some stuff, right? It can block against this 1/1 Omen Hawk. Yeah, it just has a lot more flexibility overall.
Hey, Maverick, thank you very much for the subscribe. Appreciate it a lot, my dude. And it has been a blast casting. No need to thank us. We love doing this.
Yeah, thanks Maverick for putting on the tournament overall.
Oh yeah.
And hey man, I'm glad to be here. I know that Cero couldn't make it himself. Obviously, it's like Father's Day. It can be a pretty busy day for a lot of us, but you know. Also shout out to all the dads out there.
Yeah, happy Father's Day. I don't know if we mentioned that earlier today or not, but, you know, I know we're all watching some Legends of Runeterra right now, but it is Father's Day, so hopefully anybody in chat, you guys did get a chance to hang out with your dad and have a little bit of fun today. And we've definitely had a lot of fun casting this Legends of Runeterra tournament.
Yeah, for sure. But now with this 5/5 coming down on board, it's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure going on right now. Plus this Challenger onto this Crimson Disciple. Always something you want to see. But I could see a Fury of the North getting dropped here as well. Make sure your Crimson Disciple lives, gets that extra chip damage in. Clears out this Rhymefang Wolf, which can be a threat overall for you over the next couple turns. So I'm fully expecting it to get dropped here.
And we still have this City Breaker just kind of chilling casually in the back. Oh god, no sound effect. Wait, did I forget? I missed the sound effect. Oh god, I missed it.
Here.
All right, you know what? Thank you, Lunar. Thank you, Lunar, because that shows me that you guys appreciate the sound effects, and I love this. My girlfriend got me a stream deck as a gift, and oh my god, it's amazing. So thank you for reminding me. Good looking out, Lunar.
Yeah. Definitely nice to have a little bit of a soundboard and all that extra stuff. I know that Blevin sometimes rocks with one as well.
Yep.
So shout out to him. But the Swain getting drawn also is
Wow.
gonna be really great for Rice here in this situation.
Yeah, it's going to be able to block pretty much everything. The risky part is, right, he's got the Rhymefang Wolf, though, and that card is just so annoying to play around because you just kind of got to assume your opponent has Frostbite, and it will die at some point, so it's kind of a risk playing the Swain. But he kind of has to. I mean, he doesn't really have too many other options. He does have the Death's Hand to back it up, so I imagine we're going to see one of those go down on this Rhymefang next turn here.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, the big thing that concerns me is that Wolf has such a huge card advantage. Literally, he has more cards, like as many cards on board as Rice has total between his hand and board, right? So, like, he can definitely start just like taking the value train all the way to the end of this game, honestly. Like, obviously, like Swain and Leviathan, they can survive a lot, right? But if this Rhymefang Wolf gets like even one more card under its belt with the freeze effect, I think it's almost like it's game over for Rice.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about this Freljord Noxus deck with the Ash is that it just one good Trifarian Assessor kind of just like blows the game out of proportion. You could sometimes draw 3 or 4 cards off that puppy and God, it feels so bad to play against something like that.
For sure. Oh. Yeah, but I think the big thing here is that the Rhyme Wolf not blocking just really shows the fact that he doesn't have a freeze effect in his hand. Swain now going to get blocked by one of these units on the board. That's not I'm not too worried about it. You get a bit of chip damage onto the Swain, which is really fantastic overall, right?
Yep.
But Wolf is just dropping 5-5, 6-6. Like, what do you do against this? You really can't do much. Even now, Rhymefang can just clear the Swain just by, like, even without having that extra effect attached to it, right?
Yeah, I see your 5 mana 4/7, and I raise you a 1 mana 6/6. Seems fair.
Yeah. Craziness this game is coming up with right now.
Yeah, I'm just really at a loss for what you try to do here. I mean, on the all right. So Rice does have Leviathan next turn. So I don't know where this Swain is at for a level. It looks like he's just about halfway, maybe a little bit over. That's rough. He does have another Death's Hand to prevent that, but if he's able to get this Swain leveled up and live, he does have the Leviathan next turn, which is going to be huge for him. And I don't know if he blocks the 5/5, 6. Yeah, he'll definitely be able to live. If Wolf does not have a response to Leviathan, that might actually be game for Rice. So it's really going to depend on what that last card in Wolf's hand is.
That was quite literally a second. Like, just the amount of big numbers on the side of Wolf's board. This is so rough, right? Like, he just has to start making these trades now, and if he can't, then he's gonna have to eat a ton of damage for Rice. Obviously, like you mentioned, Leviathan is really important, right? But is it enough at this point?
Well, it gets him. I think it is. It gets him another Swain too. Maniac. I actually kind of sort of agree with you. He could just take all of this, but being that there is a 3/3, so it's kind of like, why not block with the City Breaker? You might as well get some value out of it. It's just kind of been hanging out all game. So I don't think there's really any reason to go that low, but yeah, hold on. What do we got here for the Swain? We're so close. So I think it'll level up when the Leviathan triggers. It might level up before that, which is what he would need. If it levels up before that with the Noxian Fervor, that means he's going to get 3 stuns at the start of the turn, which is all the big units, which will very much get him back in this game.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
oh, wait, no, he can't. He doesn't have the mana. He doesn't have the mana for it. Oh, shit. That feels bad.
Definitely feels bad indeed, but no, he's definitely going to have to look to play around it as much as possible. Ooh. That's a Tresperian Glory Seeker.
Yeah, that feels really bad. I think he still has a shot, right? Because the City Breaker is going to go off. It depends on how many stuns he gets. Ooh, wait, 2. Okay, so is he going to get 2 procs of Swain, I think? It's either 2 or 3. Wait, 1, 2.
Yeah, okay. 2.
So he gets 2. He can kill with the Ravenous Flock. He can, and then the Noxian Fervor. He doesn't really need to worry about. So he does live. So this might be the turning point for Rice to actually get back in this game, thanks to this Swain and Leviathan combo.
Yeah.
It feels so good. Like, as a Swain Sejuani player, oh my god, does it feel good to just have this set up on the board. Like, this engine on the board right now just feels like you have such power over everything your opponent does. Like, this is the last turn Wolf is going to be able to really get any significant amount of damage in, unless he can somehow remove what's on the board. And I don't really see him doing that right now.
But, I mean, like, my counter to that is that, like, his opponent will actually have to block with his Swain, with his City Breaker, because there's so much damage on the board, right? If he just full swings with all the stuff that's not stunned, that is, like, what? That's 20 damage.
Yeah.
He has to block 3 of these.
Well, he has another Swain in hand, too. So if he blocks the Ash... Oh, wait, what's going to get frostbitten? Oh, okay. He can block the Ash with the Swain, and he's okay with that trade. He can block one of the 5/5s with the Leviathan, and then he can block the 3/2. He only takes 5. So he does live. He could actually sack the City Breaker, too, and avoid taking any damage. So there's a lot of different ways he can go about this and still maintain this value engine.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a good point. He cannot. All right, so I Ping You Listen also said, and this is something I usually forget about with Swain. I always am so focused on Leviathan triggering Swain. It can also happen mid-turn. So if he Noxian Fervored something right now, he could also end up stunning the Ashe, which will also save him another 7 health.
You definitely could do so, and you could Noxian Fervor and hit the 3-2 as well. So that take 2 hits off the board as that's just an impactful hit, like you mentioned. But like if you can keep the harsh winds,
yeah, I don't think that matters though. I think that I like what he did here. The Swain is still gonna live, and he still has a backup Swain in his hand. So he's pretty much guaranteed himself that no matter what, he has Leviathan on the field. It's not going to die anytime soon because his opponent didn't have a Culling Strike to kind of pair with these freeze effects, because that's what he's relying on now. And next turn, this Ashe is going to be frozen. So I think Rice will be able to stabilize from this turn.
Definitely do think so. I would have to agree with you. And this matchup being 1-1, this is every turn from here on out matters, right? Like, just tough for both of these players at this point, in my opinion.
Super close. I mean, this is a very close game too. Like, look at the board. It's so crazy to think that Wolf has such a humongous board, but now Swain is gonna just like continuously stun his board every single turn. Now, there's something interesting though, is that even though he has this engine going, he's only getting 3 stuns every turn. And that's actually, oh my god. Oh my god. That's game. That's game.
Stuns, sir.
Oh my god. We're going to give a... Oh god. Oh. Wow. That's the best possible draw he could have gotten in his entire deck.
Truly, honestly, and...
Okay, that's the best possible draw that Wolf could have gotten in his deck.
That draw 6. Wow, that's a draw 6, but is that enough?
Oh my god.
Like, are there many outs left in his deck to be able to come back from this?
Wow. I
like, unless that's like a harsh winds reckoning, it's hard for me to see like how Wolf gets back into this.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's Frostbite and Culling Strike. And I think that's what he's going for right now. If he drew a Culling Strike, then it's going to be difficult. The issue is that he has Noxian Fervor, so it doesn't matter, because now the Leviathan's just going to deal 3 damage next turn. He has the Noxian Fervor, so it's just not going to matter. So I think if he just opens with the Noxian Fervor here, there's nothing that Wolf can play to kill the Leviathan, and then it's just game next turn. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Game indeed.
And that is a perfect example of how 2 cards can make the fact that your opponent has 30 cards useless. That's crazy.
Jeez, the amount of stuns that came out this game. Oh yeah, incredible. Like, I'm even surprised that like he didn't end up like just casting these Ravenous Flocks just because he could, you know, like, oh, those are just Swain sitting in his hand. He doesn't obviously didn't have to, but just to kind of chip away at that board a little more, which is fantastic from play from both players. Honestly, kudos to both of these guys. Wolf clearly showing why he deserves to be up here. Wow. You know, it just came down to if he had been a little bit faster in this game, he probably could have taken it.
Oh yeah, 100%. All right, and so far in the top 8 and the top 4, we have been able to follow RiceFT's journey to the finals. So will he be able to take it from his other opponent, Bry Guy? Well, you guys can find out in the next video that I will be releasing, which will be the finals gameplay between Bry Guy and RiceFT. But until then, everybody stay healthy, stay positive. I hope it just works for you, and peace out.